me to play with Josh. Reason being, because Elder Jerry was going to be just as hard on Josh and everybody else as Bishop was with us. So that kind of made you hone in your skills, not only just to be a great skillful musician, but you had to be spiritual.
Right.
Because you had to know exactly when they were being led by the Spirit, you could not go a different direction. And they would let you know it. And they would say, hey, come on, son, like Deacon Blue. So, I would say that, being up under great leadership and playing also helped me to be more spiritual. I guess with me, I would show how happy I was, because y'all know me. I would get up and shout in a minute. I didn't care nothing, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
some guys, they just cool and calm, calm and collect.
Yeah.
But I think that just really being spiritual. And I look at a lot of the guys that's playing now. I look at a lot of our leaders. A lot of our leaders started out as musicians.
Yeah. They
started out as musicians, then became preachers, and now are pastors and bishops.
Right.
So along with what Elton was saying is being spiritual, because you are a Levite, you're a leader, you're part of that priesthood.
Yeah.
And I really believe that. And I had a humbling experience too. It take about 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. You remember that they did the rededication of Delray?
Yes.
I had just got my red MSA.
I remember.
And boy, I said, boy, I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. Do you not know? In the first, because I was playing with Kenny Ellis, I forgot Kenny Ellis and Lorenzo.
Okay.
The first song, nobody had to humble me. God humbled me himself. I got up there and forgot my bar.
Wow.
So I'm used to using that Stevenson. I'm used to using that Stevenson Shove Pierce bar, and Ben Wilson had that big old fat Showbud bar.
Yeah.
I had to borrow his bar to play. And watch this. Doing the first song, I popped 2 strings.
Oh, wow.
And man, hey, I was changing
Save
strings.
him, Lord, save him.
I was changing. Watch this. I was changing strings, doing the hymn. Boy, when prayer camp came, I went down on my knees. I was like, Lord, if you don't save this, it ain't gonna be saved.
That's right.
God came in and blessed. That was my humbling experience, because God showed me, okay, if it's gonna be about you, then I'm gonna let it be about you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, I from that experience, I've learned to be really my spiritual approach.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing. My spiritual approach was actually more than my technical approach.
Yeah. And that's really important. And I've honed in on that. Even talking to the drummers, talking to the guitar players. There's so much I've taken away even from my conversation with Ted Byrd and Calvin Cook, how much they put aside their plate, they fast, they prayed, they consecrated themselves before they went to the assemblies or whenever they had to go play revivals in different places. And to hear it from them was even an humbling experience, just to know that we hear them. We talk about how great they are and how good they sound, but we don't know what they did before they got before the people, or we don't know what they did to prepare themselves to play. And there is a consecration, there is a set aside, there's this prayer, this is fasting time that we do need. Derrick, I don't know, are you okay? So I know you're really in close proximity with your pastor, and you work closely with your pastor. Every time I seen him, I see you. Every time he's been somewhere to preach, he wants you right where he is.
Yes, sir.
Talk about that. Talk about the relationship that you have with your pastor, and why that's so important to not only him, but I'm sure to you too.
Basically, first let me say, man, it's an honor to be with all these guys on here, man. Listen, when it comes to these guys, I'm definitely not a steel player, man. These guys I'm telling you.
And listen, and you're definitely not a stranger to us. My mom got on the phone and called me. I said, first I thought it was gonna be my brother, but my mom called me. I said, what's going on, Mom? Do you know Derrick Marion? I said, yeah, I know Derrick. Derrick was just up here with me. She said, he came to the church. He done bought 2 other members to the church, and about 3 days later bought a whole bus load of members. I said, what? I mean, that's just the kind of brother you are.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I appreciate you coming and sharing with us, man, back at home. My mom, she told me, she said, I got another son now. So,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man.
I've been with my pastor, man, since probably like the age of 7 or 8.
Wow.
Before he even became a deacon, man. Along with him becoming a deacon, all the way up to now to a pastor, and just being around him, definitely he has instilled a word inside of me, and me learning how to consecrate myself and meditate, and not getting caught up so much into the music, but into the word, which helps me pretty much. It's almost like, you know, we got the same spirit, man. I thank God for it. To God be the glory, man. God just lets me know my pastor's every move. I know when he's going up. I know when he don't want music. I know when we're on assignment. Service is different from revivals or pastor anniversary or every service is different. I think it's very important for musicians to know that every service is different. Every service we should be expecting God to do something different.
Yeah.
My pastor is a very open person. I heard Noble say, hey, can we get back to those days where we just churching, to where we sweating the collar? Man, listen, I'm gonna have to invite him down to Deerfield, man, because Tommy, man, he done came and tore up the place, and Ives, he came and tore up the place, and Joe Randall and Josh, man, these guys, man, they've came and they just played, and they say, man, listen, we can't stop playing. I say, listen, this is how it is, man. We constantly churching, man, non-stop. The people not gonna stop. We ain't stopping. So, but just having a close net with your pastor, great leadership that understands the concept of music, understanding the word. It's not about the money. It's not about the people. It's about us doing kingdom. We not just members. We got to be kingdom builders. Especially when it comes to that music, man. You got to know that it's business and business only, and it's God's business, not for form or fashion or for show. I've had the pleasure. I'm sitting in a seat now that I ran from for years, of Glenn Lee, Sonny Treadway, Bishop Harrison, Ronnie Mosey, Gammy, so many different, Derrick Campbell, so many different people have sat in this seat that I'm in now, man, and it's an honor. It's a pleasure, man, and I just look back now and I say, wow, what am I going to do now different than those guys did? And you know what? All I did was just pray harder and just keep the love. We open the doors to every musician, man.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. I understand the concept. I don't like to see a musician that's going to get on the music for show. That's my biggest pet peeve. It's not about me playing. I'd rather you not even touch the music if you're gonna get up there for show. Yeah. I don't like to hear musicians say, "Oh man, we're gonna tear it up." That's a big turn off for me. I've learned I can play with anybody that has the right spirit. I can play with anybody that has the right spirit. And even if I know you don't have the right spirit, I believe that I'm an atmosphere changer. And I could change that atmosphere, that spirit that you have. Before you leave, you're gonna have the right spirit. Yeah. So that's how I look at it. Like I say, hey, Noble, we're gonna have to get you to Deerfield, man, so you can
I'm ready, bro. I'll bring the rock tone.
But I want to say something to Noble, man. Listen, I called Jay up and said, listen, man. He said, I heard you play with Noble. I said, yeah, man. He said, how did you do it? I said, well, Noble, man, you never know, man. I was so scared to walk in there. I was saying, man, why Joe set me up like this, man? Noble don't let you know whether you're doing good, man. And he
He
looks
just look
at
at you.
you. He
Hey,
just
Derrick.
look at you.
Hey, Derrick, you know what he do? Yeah. He got that mysterious eyebrow.
There you
You
go.
look over and he give you that look. See,
Bruh,
that's intimidating.
Yeah,
bruh.
He look over and he give you that look.
yeah.
Throwing the rocks eyebrow.
Yeah.
You got to look at Noble and just say, what?
Yeah. Y'all ain't right,
That's
man.
just that oldness in him. That's all. You just got to look at him and say, what? What's up?
Yeah, man. But,
You be all right.
But I enjoyed it, man. I knew that there was a connection, man, and that really did something for me. It's an honor to play with Joe, man. It's an honor to play with these guys, man. Josh, I actually started playing with Josh through my brother Terrence, man. He's
Wow.
one of the legends, man. That he's played with Bishop Harrison. He's played with Ronnie through all the big assemblies and all that stuff. So I met Josh through my brother. And you know, I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Now that my brother's in town, Josh done threw me away, man. Josh don't even call a brother no more, man.
There it is.
Josh, you got to do better, man. You got to do better.
Hey, listen, man. You know your brother is one of a kind, brother.
Yeah.
Nah, you know you my boy, man. Definitely.
Man,
Dante.
this is good.
Yeah,
This is
man.
good.
But I enjoyed it. Lester Wilks, man. Listen, I could never figure you out when I came over to the state assemblies for House of God. I said, why is this guy just staring at me? Staring. And then one day he walked up, he said, man, listen, I love the way you play. When you said that, it just lit me up, man. I'm like, okay, all right, I know it. I know a little something on lead. But man, I believe now musicians got the close knit. I believe we got a bond now. I believe we got to go beyond what we're doing now, man. It's not about what church we in. It's not about separation, who sounds the best. It's about coming together, man. We can do this together. We can get those services back. We can do it together. Coming in with that right spirit, man. That's what it's all about. Dante, listen, I appreciate you. My pastor say, hey, man, you wasn't there, but Dante, he held it down pretty good, man. He held it down pretty good. You know, that's just my pastor, man. Pastor Formal. He's very, very particular.
He loves music.
Who he likes to play for him, man, because he knows in a little bit of time, man, he's got to get to where he's getting to, and he wants you to understand. He's a steel man. He loves the steel.
He does.
He loves a good keyboarder, but he loves the steel guitar. And listen, man, he just knows. Sometimes when you see him hitting his head, man, listen. It's time to listen. We finna go to war tonight. We finna fight, man. But that's just him. It's a relationship beyond relationships with him.
Yeah. He's a solid guy, man. Every time I've talked to him, even when I first met him, he's just solid. He's just solid.
Oh yeah,
man.
Man. He showed love to all these guys, man. But it's awesome. It's awesome. We're enjoying this, man. We definitely enjoying this. I'm glad. I haven't met Brian Byrd personally, man, but I've heard him, and I'm looking forward to meeting him, man. Definitely. I'm looking forward to meeting him.
He on fire.
Yeah. Listen,
Hey, man, I got a
it,
question, man.
What's up?
I got a question.
Tommy ain't allowed at my church no more. So Tommy, you stay where you at. You ain't allowed there no more, man.
What's
Hey,
your
man,
question?
I got a question.
What's your question, man?
I got all these experienced guys on here, and I like to know when I hear you guys, what are you guys' strain gauges? Which pickup are you using? You know, or what's your favorite pickup on your instrument? What amp are you coming out of? Those type of questions are on my mind.
Let's talk about it.
What's your strain gauges there, Byrd?
Come on, Byrd.
My top string is a 16. It's real tight, and it goes down to a 14 for my second because my other strings I'm using my pedals, but that top string I need to be tight because of the tone that I like. And I go all the way down to a 54. I have custom strings that I use, and they last me for forever, as long as I keep them,
You buy
wiped
them by
down
the
because my
pack,
hands.
or you buy them by the pack, or you buy them individually?
Buy them by the pack. I got a guy that I order about 4 or 5 packs at a time. It only costs me about $20.
What tuning is that running? C6, E9, B, what?
E7.
E7?
I think most of the guys in the church are either E6 or E7. If they're not, doing like a straight E major or G major tuning, or like what we call the Henry Nelson tuning. Yeah.
What's that?
With the top being the fifth. So if you're in E, you would be like the B would be the top, G sharp, E, B, G sharp, and then E again.
Yeah, we used to call it 1 2 3 1 2 3.
Yeah.
Don't know how to play a C6, but Josh.
No, I play a little C6. Been playing a little B flat 6. Moving on A6 right now. So I'm asking questions, man.
So one of the things I did coming up, and Ives can probably attest to it. As far as sound is concerned, back in the day, I still have my session 500. We did I had the session 400. And as I started playing out and traveling and doing other different things, I started to look at my sound or approach my sound differently. First of all, I wanted to be lighter in the way I traveled, but I wanted to have power. And a lot of places that you go, you don't need a big 15 amp, 15 inch, Black Widow speaker pushing 350 watts. You don't need that, because if they're lining or direct out from your amp or from your box or whatever you're coming through, you're going to come through the house, you're going to be in the monitors. So it's best that you get something that your suitable sound is really into. So right now I'm actually playing through a Boss Cantana. Boss makes an amp called a Cantana. It's only 100 watts. Yeah. And I can actually USB it to my computer and customize my sounds. But what I like about it is that I can go into the studio, it line out directly, it gives a sound man a feed, it gives the person that's recording me a feed. They can mic me. Any application that they want to use, they can actually use with the amp. So recording purposes or live purposes, I've been in front of 5,000 people and it kicks. But it's just because of how the sound works.
Is that the 12 inch or is that the 2?
It's the 12. It's a 12 and it's light. It's light as a feather. Yeah, it's light as a feather, and it sounds absolutely amazing. And I don't have to push hard. Again, even when I'm in a service, I've played it and pushed it. I've pushed it with the wah pedal, and it does not. It goes over just really nicely.
Really. So
I just think it's really about it's really about the sound that you want, and don't be afraid to experiment. I tell a lot of young guys, just because I play a PV. And somebody else uses the new Kiltar amps, which are really, really nice. It's really about preference. I use light gauges. I kind of use I do I use E9 and C6. I buy both packs of strings and I mix it. Because I use heavy gauges at the bottom. Right. And I kind of go toward the lighter gauges at the top. So say that again. Like for me, if I'm in E, my and I have a high G sharp, I'm gonna add an 11 gauge. My E string is like a 14 gauge. My B string is maybe a 17. So I try not to be as tight, but I understand where that comes from. and how it feels when you're doing certain things with the bar and being able to do tricks. What I do in those instances is I tune up. So if like, for instance, I have my Asher guitar is it was a custom made guitar, and when they bought it to me, they actually had it in C, and C is a low.
Yeah.
C is a low tuning, and they had some really pretty. It was a pretty good gauge strings on there, but when I changed it out, the sound was totally different.
Yeah.
And when I started using the gauge strings that I liked, the tonality, everything was just different. But when you tune up, when you go up in frequency, when you go up in keys, so if I tune the F, the strings are tighter. Mm-hmm. So the friction that I get and the bounce that I get from my bar picking and strumming and playing is different when I tune to lower keys like a C, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you know, I asked that question because you got a lot of guys who playing guitar now. They just go and buy a pack of strings and put it on.
Yeah.
And you know, once you start playing, you start finding out which strings give the right pitch.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I buy mine individually. But what I start doing for my Thomas, I put C6 strings on, but I was tuned to B flat 6, and I just changed from B flat 6 to make my B flats to whole notes. The only person caught hold to that, me being a B flat, was our dear Elder Taylor. He caught it, and when he caught it, I had to change it. So I know what you're talking about, but you know, I think it'll be a great thing to talk about gauges, amplifiers, because I was looking at a katana the other day.
They're nice.
Also talk about you know, what type of pickup, because I'm a fan of George L's. A lot of guys are fans of Bill Lawrence.
I don't like the Bill Lawrence. I like the George L E66. That's my go-to.
Yes, sir.
The problem what I have with Bill Lawrence is that I think they break up too easy.
Yeah.
My experiences with them, I had Bill Lawrence and I had a Fessington, and I couldn't get into the Bill Lawrence. They break up too easy for me, and it's too thin. Some people like them. I know Dwight likes Bill Lawrence, but to me, I love that George L E66.
Yeah, that George L, man, it seems like it makes to me, it makes everything thicker, a little thicker. You know, gives a little bit more meat.
It does.
But I don't know about with you guys, but I know with me, some of my strings, it's important to me which ones are flat and which ones are wound also.
Yes.
Because sometimes you can buy the same gauge string and it could be wound and it just doesn't have that, you know what I'm saying, like a 22, a 24, it can be wound, but it doesn't have, you don't get that feel to it. And see, with me, my top string, I'm kind of unconventional because I like F sharps and C sharps in my tuning. And my top string is always has to be at least a 12.
Run that run your C6. What? Give me your where you going? C F A C G E.
No, because with me, like I said, from my top to bottom, I'm more of because I started out my Maverick was tuned in E9, so I played straight E9 for a minute before I changed it. So I'm accustomed to having that F sharp, that E B A flat F sharp. You know what I'm saying? But you know what a lot of us, you know, we go with that pentatonic scale that we all got from Calvin, that E D B. Well, I don't like the B. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the B. I like the C sharp.
Yeah.
So if I put the C sharp on top of the C sharp on top of the B, well, my F sharp can give me all of that. And then, you know, a lot like with Chuck, we got that from Chuck them to having them 2 E's. I tell Josh all the time, I don't see how y'all do it. I can't do it.
Me either, bro.
like I can't do it. Like
I love it.
I gotta well, see with me, I gotta have my F sharp in me. You know what I'm saying?
I got
so,
F.
You know,
I don't see how they do 2 E's.
Me either, man.
Well, the way he set it up. If you look at Chuck has it set up from a standpoint of kind of like a chromatic tuning, kind of like sitting at a piano. And his approach is, when I strum, how do I get to my minor chord? How do I get to a major seventh chord without moving? And what those two E's does for him, in essence, if you want a straight major chord without that ninth in it, which is that F sharp that you were talking about, you would have to have those two E's there, or you will have that straight ninth chord as an open chord. So Chuck's approach, and when I interview and talk to them soon, he can talk about it. But his approach really is really from a simple standpoint, where he takes a simple chord and then he uses his pedals and knee levers to expand into doing all the things he wants. So he can tell you how to do a sharp 5, or augmentive chord, or a major seventh chord on one fret, because he set the guitar up that way where he can actually simply go there just by interchanging his pedals.
Dante, can I tell you a funny story?
Yeah.
You know me and you talk. I got a lot of funny stories. Derrick came down, and we always want to honor Derrick.
Yeah.
Derrick came down, and Derrick he was explaining his tuning to me.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh, remember this. Josh was there. Derrick was explaining his tuning to me because he had like a 78 on his B string. I mean,
yes,
that low, because he used to play, run the bass lines.
Mm-hmm.
I would not touch his guitar. Josh got on to play it. I was like, "Oh, Josh, you sound good." I wasn't touching Derrick's guitar.
Hey,
Derrick was a technician.
It makes sense, man, but it worked.
Yeah, Derrick's guitar really was not tuned. Derrick's guitar was almost tuned like a lead guitar.
Like a lead guitar, yeah.
Okay, so for a lot of the steel players who wanted to know, Derrick's guitar was almost tuned, almost like a lead guitar, with a few exceptions. And that was just because I witnessed this in services where Derrick there'd be a certain song, and this goes back to Lester's point and Elton's point, and even Joe's point about how we do things, spiritually. There'll be certain songs that were sung in a service, and it may have been in a minor, or it may have caused for you to to not really be on the one or in a major one chord. And Derrick will change his guitar up, like literally on the spot, and detune it to whatever's being sung, and will hit the chord or hit the melody that the singer is doing, or whatever's being sung. If it was a choir song, he will make it interchangeable with what was going on, and his sound and the way he tuned it just matched. And I think it got to the point where he just figured out, you know what, this is what I'm gonna do, because every time I switch it here, it's right, and I know how to get to a major, I know how to get to a minor, I know how to do my little quick runs. Derrick mastered it. But there was a time when during service he would probably go into about 3 or 4 different tunings in one service.
Yeah. That's the guy who brought me on in Pedalsteel, Georgia, at the State Assembly.
I remember.
And Dante, you was just finishing the hill, and that was my first time playing in Georgia. And man, you wouldn't believe, Deaconess Campbell said this: "If you can't play, we will get you up."
Yes, sir.
He meant that too.
And she wasn't playing.
That's when it's real, bro. And thank
No
God
pressure.
it didn't happen.
No pressure.
While I was playing, man, I looked over and I saw Derrick clapping his hand. I said, "Okay, I'm in now. I'm in." But I don't know if they do that anymore. If you can't play, somebody come over and say, "You got to get up."
Well, Elton, what you said before is one of the reasons why the younger generation can't handle that.
Yeah.
Because just because your family wanted to put you on, I know it was like this. Josh, you all can attest to this. If an older musician did not vouch for you, you sat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If somebody did not vouch for you and say no, they ready, they're okay, then you. Now there's been other times wherein I've moved second seat for Glenn. I moved second seat for Joe. I always pay homage to the guys that came before me.
Yeah.
And I think that's a blessing in that, because I don't always, me and Joe talked about that all the time. Sometime I'll come in and Joe be like, hey, come on, sit in. But, just coming up, a lot of the young guys, they want their family to vouch for them.
Yeah.
But, with somebody with experience, can they vouch for you and actually put you in that seat?
Yeah.
And they should tell you, say, hey, and I know the drummers talked about this. Dante them talked about this the other night. With drummers, hey, you get that tap on the shoulder.
You got to get up. You got to get
and then,
up.
like I said, and then especially like me being around Bishop Taylor, he would come up to you and say, your guitar not tuned. So it was that type of experience. They hear certain things. I remember the story of Glenn, Ted telling Glenn, because Glenn had just got his blue MSA, but it all wasn't tight.
Yeah.
Ted was like, Glenn, I hear sometimes your pedals are slipping a little bit.
Yeah.
And just being around guys like that, that it make you kind of hone in your skills when you do get that chance, because sometimes you only get one chance before you have to wait 2-3 more years. They're like, nah, he ain't ready.
Yeah.
Hey, Dante.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm gonna be leaving here. I'm out here. I gotta get y'all mail out. So guys,
Keep the
y'all
bills.
be safe, man.
Well,
I
listen,
gotta
Keep the bills.
get going, and now it's been fun, but I have to run now.
well, we appreciate
Hey,
you.
Make
hey,
sure my
Elder,
check get to
Elder,
my mailbox, man.
you got our
Hey.
stimulus text?
If it's not there,
No, it's retirement money. Ain't no stimulus, man.
hey, I love y'all, man. Glad to hear from you.
All right, bro. Love you too, man.
How much was stimulus?
It never stops. It never stops. Man, this is good. I to attest to what you just said, Ives, like coming from a musical family who can hear and have good ear tonation, and from people who really understand and know music, you couldn't get away with a lot of stuff. If certain things were not right, you out of tune. You need to go tune your guitar. Or no, that's the wrong chord. You should have been on the 5, you were on the 4. Things like that. So yeah, it's different now, because we came up doing school hard knocks, if you will. We didn't have it easy. I'm Brian, you can attest to this as well. Even as drummers coming up, we didn't have it easy. No. I know I didn't. I remember being in Nashville with Henry Nelson, and I said this even with the drummers, you had to know their styles. You had to know how they played and suit yourself accordingly to the style that, the way the guitar player or the steel player played, to be accustomed to that style. Am I telling the truth, Brian?
You right on, man. You right on. I had to play with when Kenny transferred to our area. I was really young, and Kenny would give me a look, and he'll do one of these.
Get up.
Nod his head like that. I said, okay, I need to either pick up the tempo, get in pocket or something, man, because you just ain't there. So I said, well, I'm get in pocket. I'm gonna stay there. It wasn't all about being fancy and doing double raps and all this kind of stuff, man. Get in the pocket and stay there, man. And when that groove, man, the one thing about the Lee boys that I used to love, man, when that groove get in there, man, oh my God, the pocket would be so deep. If you had the rhythm section of Alvin, and what was the other guy named Bernard
that played guitar. Mm-hmm.
Bro, Bernard, Alvin, and Glenn, and Benji on the, bro, that pocket, it'd be so deep, bro. I'd be like, oh my God. And it didn't have to be nothing fancy. It wasn't nothing fancy. It was just drive. Drive. I remember you, man, on that Maverick too. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bro, man, Denard hadn't got ill that, man, and I remember when I got my marriage, bro, and Nard told me, he said, bro, Ives had that marriage right there. He'd eat it up. Yes, you would. Yes, you would. Yeah, and I didn't know you was a bass player at first, bro.
Yeah, he
Never knew that. I didn't know that.
Hey, I
Yeah.
wanted to say, Ives and Josh was most dangerous on the lap guitar. Now they might say, nah, the cats came in the revival at Fort Lauderdale. Oh my goodness. I had to go to this cat house and tell them to show me some of that stuff. I mean, they were awesome on the lap. Josh was awesome on the lap. Ives was awesome on the lap. Now they can say what they want, but they was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I think they
noticed
played
that
the
we've
lap
all started
better than they
coming
played
back
the pedal. I really do.
Oh,
And have you noticed that a lot of us have started going back to six string, man? Like when I watched video, Dante, when I saw you, you was playing right after the choir had song, The Blood Still Works.
Yes.
Yeah,
I was on my 8.
Bruh,
that was hot.
yeah, okay. And Josh, I saw a video of you as well. What you call this playing behind you? What's his name? Dark skinned heavyset guy.
Tim.
Yes. And
yeah.
we done started reverting back to where it all started, man. I had
When you get older, you travel lighter.
Bro, I ain't got time to be carrying around a session, bro. I'm playing all around town. I ain't got time to be carrying no session.
I'm telling you, you gotta go light.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You do.
sir.
You do.
Bro,
And
I'm
listen,
gonna have to cut out as well, man. Dante, I'm gonna have to cut out, man. Hey,
No.
man, it's good to see y'all.
listen,
be
it's
blessed,
good.
man.
I'm glad you could do it. I'm
Thank
glad
y'all
you could
for
do
having
it.
me. Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all stay safe, man. I'll make sure to go check up on Aubrey, man. I work at Sarasota Memorial Hospital, and
Hey, man,
I'll put
hit me up with that, man.
Please give them our love.
Yes, sir,
I
do
sure
that.
will.
Please give them our love. I'll
sure
share this
will.
before you go. Brian, I was in Sarasota on business, and Brian, I had to speak somewhere on a Saturday morning, and Brian was playing out at I can't think of the name of the restaurant, but I shocked the mess out of him. He had no clue I was in town. He had no clue I was in the city, and I knew where he was gonna be playing, and I showed up. And I kind of gave him one of them tap on the shoulders and went to my seat, and he stopped the whole set.
That's nice.
He stopped the whole set to acknowledge me, man. Listen, man, love is not what it says, it's what it does, man. I love you, man.
Right.
And I'll do it again. I'll do it again.
God bless you,
You
man.
slam that night.
Appreciate
Love you,
you, bro.
Yeah, man.
All right,
Love
big.
y'all, man. Y'all be safe, all right?
You too.
Yeah,
All right,
man. You too.
Later, man.
So look, I know it's getting late. I'm not gonna hold you guys a lot longer, but here's what I do want to do. I want to go around, and there are a lot of musicians that are, and I do this on all of my talks. There are a lot of musicians who are watching us. A lot of musicians in and out of the church. Not just church musicians. They're just musicians. What advice would you leave to them? What advice would you give them? Not only like I said, not only as just a church musician, but just as a musician. What advice was given to you, but what advice would you give to them? I'll start with you, Derrick. Uh-oh, I think he's still muted. There he is.
Yeah, I think he's driving.
Are you driving, man? Be careful. We don't want you in no accident.
Right.
We're gonna come back to you. I'll come back to you. So
Yes.
let's start with you, Tommy.
Best advice, probably get outside of music vocabulary. Get outside of just traditional, nothing's wrong with it, nothing's wrong with regular church music, but expand your vocabulary. Listen to other music, Church might tell you not supposed to listen to it, but musically, if you just listen to boom ta all day, that's all you technically gonna really know. So expand your vocabulary, man. Don't be scared to venture out into new avenues and learn different music.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Josh?
I would say definitely stay humble, you know. Learn different styles, like Tommy say, you know, venture into other styles of music, other genres of music, and but keep it holy. You know, you can still, you know, jazz, classical, R&B, just spiritual, definitely. But learn how to keep your music pure, keep it clean. Everything don't belong in the church. I think that's another thing that we also got to kind of understand. Everything do not belong in the church, and you ought to respect God's house. Another thing I would say is learn how to reciprocate. You know, people give, to you, learn how to share. Don't be selfish with your, gift that God has given you. You know, if somebody is willing to learn, man, be willing to teach. Yeah. And so I can say more things, but
that's good.
Those are many things.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Elton?
Yeah, I'm with Tommy. As a musician, you listen to all kind of music. I even listen to pipe organ music. I listen to big bands. Big band give me a lot. I say also learning to play with people who sing in different keys. Forever be a student. Forever be a student. Forever learning. Because when you're playing steel guitar, you're gonna find something new just about every day. And if you're a musician, I touch my instrument probably every day. Yeah. Every day. And I think that you should continue to be a student about the music and continue to practice your craft. And piggyback off what Josh said, always be humble, man. You look at all those like Jimi Hendrix and Ernie Isley. It takes a minute to get to that place, so you're not gonna learn everything quickly. Yeah. Just continue to be a student. Learn everything about the instrument. I wish we could have talked about maintenance also on that pedal, but pretty much.
We're gonna do this talk again. We're gonna have plenty more.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Good.
That's good. That's good. Lester, and then I'll go to Ives.
Yeah, man, it's about my bedtime. I'm a senior citizen. Man.
Wow.
It's good to be humble, and it's a fine line of what music you listen to. Because I listen to a lot of music. I love different type of music. But it's a fine line. Yeah. Because people will be shouting off Earth, Wind, and Fire and don't know they shouting off it.
Yeah.
Nobody gonna know it though.
And if you don't know the music, you'll be shouting off it too. But I had a musician told me, and he said this. He said, music is music. I said, I disagree with you. Music ain't just music. Now, there's some soulful music, and there's some music that could run demons out of the church. And that's the music that we got to play. We got to play music that's going to run demons out of the church. Because sometimes I be wondering, is our pastors and our elders, will they attack demons? Because that to me, it seems like it ain't happening.
Wow.
It seems like it ain't happening. I'm looking at the church, and I'm looking at the pastors. Now, there are some pastors that I'll go right in there with them because I know they're going to handle that demon.
Well, come on, bro.
They're going to handle him because they ain't scared of him. But you don't want no demon to say, I know who this person is. I don't know who that person is, but I don't know who you are. See? And that's the same way with our music.
Yeah.
We got to run him out of there. There's a lot of demons. I listened to Elton Noble. He was my cousin, but I call him Elton Noble sometimes. When I get down to earth, I say Elton. But you know, Elton was telling us about how he found these people having sex at his church, around his church. That's demons. They can't get that close to God's church. They can't get that close to God's church. People smoke on the church ground. Now, when we start playing, we should be a part of that, running them demons away. We just want to play for we can feel good and everybody shouting, but we need to be doing some demon revivals, running them all out of there.
Yeah.
Maybe some out of the ministers, out of the deacons, and definitely out of some of them saints. Preach.
You're preaching, Doc.
See, people don't like to hear that stuff.
We're going to have to take up an offer for you. Y'all put his cash app down in the comments. Oh, my goodness. No, that's, hey, listen, this is just the beginning of these talks, but listen, I really want to start having deeper conversation about some of our culture in church. I really do. I want to talk about even us playing out. You know, the things that we sometimes get criticized for. Why? You know, and the relationships. You know, one of the reasons why I asked Derrick about his relationship with his pastor is because ask the average musician what their relationship is with their pastor and listen to their answer.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
I took, and I'm not saying that because my grandmother and I had a bunch of uncles, and I'm talking about because when I moved to Atlanta, I worked with a lot of different pastors. I worked with a lot of different personalities, and to be able to be in sync, to be able to relate, to be able to have a relationship, and be on the same page and be able to articulate conversation, the whole nine. That takes work. We ain't talking about playing. Can you just have a conversation with your pastor and y'all on the same page, or agree to disagree about something? You know, there's a lot of things. We just really scratching the surface. So I'm with you, Elton. We got a lot of things. There's a lot of technical things I want to talk about musically from the steel standpoint. There are a lot of things that I want to talk about church culturally wise. There are a lot of different things that I really want to dive into. But yeah, I'm glad you said that, Lester, because it needed to be said, because we really need to deal with those kind of things. There are a lot of pastors out here that are unapproachable.
Yep.
And we talk about that. There are a lot of deacons, or there are a lot of people that are in the church that are just unapproachable. Right. And you're like, you know, okay, I'm good, you know, and they wonder why the music staff or the singers and everybody else, they go somewhere else. There's a reason. Yeah. And we need to talk about it. We need to deal with that. You know, it is a spirit.
Me and my pastor, man, our relationship is like a father and son. Mm-hmm. On occasions. It's a pastor member on occasions. It's a brother. I mean, our relationship is so close, so tight knit. It goes beyond outside of church, because everything is not church. Sometimes you have to deal with things on a personal level. And trust, man, listen, I'm so honored to just that God just allowed a man like him, man, to be in my life. I mean, this is one that this guy has never changed. This guy has never changed, man. Since growing up from a kid up to now, he has never changed. What he preaches and his conversations, if any of you have really sat down and talked with him, that's him. Yeah. That's him. Our relationship is close, man, and that plays a very big part in the musician's corner, I'm telling you. We don't just want to be musicians. You know, we don't just want to be just music players. We don't want to just sound good. You know, you can hear that anywhere. Hey man, you sound good. I don't want to just. I want to know that somebody got delivered. I want to know that I was able to touch somebody's spirit. You know,
There you go.
you know that's the level we want to be on. If we're not on that level, I might as well say, hey, listen, you know, stay home with your instrument and just sound good.
Right.
You know, just be a YouTube player. You know, just be a Facebook player. You know, we got to get there, man. We got to. Me personally, I listen to all types of music. I can't tell you the words that they're singing. I'm listening to the music. I'm listening to the close-knit of the music, how certain parts of the music, where they play their part. A lot of musicians don't know their part. A lot of drummers don't know the part that they hold. A lot of bass players don't know the part that they hold. A lot of lead players. When you got all those guys together, you got some trying to take over. A lot of people don't know their part. So I think it's very important, man, that you know that they should listen to different music and build a relationship with your pastor. Build a relationship with your pastor. My pastor will let me go as long as it's safe and it's benefits to me, man, and it benefiting somebody else. I don't have that. I don't have that. Oh no, you can't go here. Oh no, you can't go here. My pastor's not like that. My pastor's not insecure. I'll say that. My pastor's not insecure. You got a lot of pastors that's insecure. My pastor's not money hungry. Hey, somebody getting saved. Elton Noble, man, he listen. He's playing his steel. The musicians are on one accord, man. Folks trying to get delivered. No, we're not finna stop this just to get an offering.
Yeah,
that's not happening. No, the souls are more important. We got one goal, and me and my pastor has been on that same page, man. We got one goal. It ain't how you start, it's how you finish. Yeah. And the only goal we got, man, is just souls being saved.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
This is good.
That's it.
This is good. I'm gonna go to Ives. I'm gonna end off with Ives, but I'll say this before Ives chimes in. I'm glad you said what you said. A lot of times, and one of the reasons why I'm doing this and started this forum, one, I started it off as a tribute to Derrick. There were some other projects that I was working on, and I said this, I think, the last talk. But I wanted to do this because they hear us play all the time. I mean, They can find a video on Ives. They can find a video on Josh, and they can find a video on Tommy and Elton and Derrick, you and Lester. They can find a video on all of us. But do they really know who we are? Do they really know who we are? They don't hear us talk. They've never heard us articulate. They've never heard us really really talk about how we feel as musicians, how we're looked at as musicians, how concerned or unconcerned leadership may be about us, about our souls, about things that matter to us. That's a whole nother conversation. And we're gonna have it. But I think this is important because this gives us a forum to just be able to talk. We can play all day long, but to be able to articulate and talk about the things that we don't normally get a chance to talk about. I'll say it to you like this. Miles Monroe, he said, most people are not interested in you. They're just interested in your gift. Like you go pick an apple off the tree. We don't hug the tree after you pick the apple. You just want the fruit. That's it. Right? You get the fruit, you get the apple, you walking away. You're not thanking the tree. Hey, tree, thank you. No, you want the gift. You want the results from the tree. And that's how most people look at musicians. Oh, they're nothing outside of their gift. We just want you to shut up and play. And the second you say something, you're out of order.
Right.
They need to hear us talk. Yeah. We know the word. That's a whole nother conversation. Ives, come on.
I want to say this. You all guys have pretty much covered the spiritual aspect of it. What I want to say to guys is this: learn your music.
Come on.
learn the record. One of the reasons that, especially when I'm playing bass with Josh a lot, the reason that we're able to play together, especially with certain songs, is because I can know that Josh is gonna know the record. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of my biggest pet peeves. I don't care if you playing steel guitar. Learn the record. So if they're playing a song, at least, you know, let's come together and make it sound almost like, especially with choir songs. I hear guys now playing steel all over the choir songs. I be looking like, hold on a second. Song don't go like that.
Yep.
And so, that's would be my thing, you know. And that's just one of my pet peeves. If, you know, just, if you're going to do it, just put your best into it. And just let's learn these records. When we hear these songs, because you never know if they might sing them in songs, especially House of God, devotional wise, they'll start singing a song. But if we haven't played together, we know the record, we know kind of how the song should go. It's much easier for us to play together. You know what I'm saying? Because I think now I'm probably playing more bass than steel guitar right now. But that's why it's important for me to, I have to learn records. Tell the young guys, learn the records, learn your part. If you're playing steel on a song that you haven't heard steel before, find your place. You know what I'm saying? Find your place in the song, because there's certain parts of the song where it's not about you. You know what I'm saying? And then I think that there should be some mentorship, even with our younger steel guitar players, because a lot of times I hear a lot of, Josh, Josh, and you guys know this, that I hear steel guitar players playing on top of devotional leaders.
All the time.
So you are to accompany them, not singing, not playing their verse out. You're going to play the melody. And I think that's why a lot of this is necessary when we're doing stuff like this, to make sure some of the young guys kind of chime in. And it happens a lot. I remember having a conversation with Ted years ago, and how he would, his concept of constructing a service. And there would be times where, Ted would just let everybody just strike out playing, and he wouldn't play a note. Yep. Until once the band got that rhythm, then he would only accompany the devotional leader based on what the rhythm was, and not jumping on top of their verse. So you got some guys that they strike out, and they're gonna play the leader part and the congregational part.
Yep.
And then if you give them all you got, later on you ain't got nothing else, because you done shot all your bullets.
Yep.
In the first couple stanzas of the song.
Yep.
So I think conversations like this is real needed. Some people didn't have the privilege that we had. Dante, me and Josh, we've talked about this a lot. Yeah. To really sit down and have conversations with Glenn and Derrick and Elton Noble and Bishop Taylor and Calvin and Chuck. Just to kind of pick their brain.
Right.
And like I say, and I pay homage. I tell you, I pay homage to Lester all the time.
Yes. Because
I knew that even when I wanted to play, he took the time. He took the time to actually show me. Well, we talked about this, Dante. Them first changes, technically is 1-4, but we call it 1-2.
1-2.
1-2-3.
You're right.
It's technically 1-4-5-6.
Right.
Then you go to the flat 7. You know what I'm saying? But we just know it was a 1, 2, and a 3.
Right.
That's all Lester took. And Lester showed me that. I'm telling you, he showed me that one time, and I just took it and ran with it.
Yeah.
And I think that we, what I'm saying, and I love what Elton Noble is doing with the young guys. He's really taking the young guys under his wing, because we can't take none of this stuff with you. So just leave it here, empty it out.
Yeah.
Pour into somebody else. And I really believe now, and I like what Elton was saying, is he wanted to learn. Hey, you guys, we're always learning. I'm always learning, and whatever you have, the little bit that we do have, just pour it into somebody else.
That's right.
Pour it into somebody else.
That's right. Well, man, I thank you guys, and Elton, he's right. A tree is only known by the fruit it bears, and your sons, man, they're proof of that. Those guys are. Whoo! Yeah. The last time I saw them, they looking at me, and I'm looking at them like, dude, y'all need to teach me something, Those are some they're coming up, man, and I'm proud of them, and I know you are, and they sound amazing. But that speaks to you. That speaks to you.
But it's all. I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. It's all because of going to the church. Y'all know that.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be the musicians we are without going through the church. You know, me and my family, we want to do a project with the Noble family. The Noble family would be my immediate, my son, all my sons and my wife.
Okay.
We want to put something down on CD, you know, to look back and we did that. We can do that. We have the talent. We have. I have everything I need. I got my wife. She'll be the singer, you know. But I thank God for those boys, and I thank God for you guys for being inspiration to them. Because whether you know it, Dante, Ives, you guys are way up here. Josh, Tommy, Lester, all you guys are way up here when it comes to those guys, because they was watching DVDs of church services so much. I used to say, "How long, Lord? When will they stop?" You know what I mean? Because I would leave church and come back home to church.
Wow.
Because they would be listening to the music all the time, and my wife would say, "Elton, leave them alone."
Yeah, that's a good problem.
You know, you've been in church all day long, and you come back and you hear nothing but more church music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's a blessing, man. Y'all pray for me, because I have a young man who's giving lessons to tomorrow night. I think he's 13, and you know, he's sharp. These young men, these young kids who are growing up now, man, they sharp. You know.
Yeah.
But y'all pray for me with that young boy. He's pretty good. Tommy, you're gonna have to look out, man. There's another little fella coming up.
They got it. They got it.
This is good, man. But first of all, let me just say thank you to all of you all. I'm probably gonna have to do another one with Daryl and some of the other guys that I couldn't get on today. But man, thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you, Facebook, for sticking in with us. I know we've gone a little bit past the 2-hour mark, but this has been worth it. I appreciate all you guys, the wisdom, the advice, the technical advice, just the laughs, all of it. This is just the beginning. We're going to keep this going, and we're going to have more talks in the future. But I appreciate every last one of you all. Keep doing what you're doing. You inspire me. You inspire me to do this, and without none of y'all, it's no me. So I appreciate you.
Dante.
Bless you all.
Yeah. Thank you again, man, for doing this, for setting this up.
Right, man.
Yeah. Well, y'all take care. It's been real. Thank you all. Thank you, Lester. Thank you, Ives.
All right, no problem.
All right, man. Be good.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
One love.